Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. I hope it finds you well out there. Before we get into everything, I don't mean to laugh. It's just deal, no deal again. But we do have some data to talk about. We'll see. Everybody is waiting, wanting to see what really is going to happen. I think, well, we're going to find out one way or the other. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. This Friday, very, very big Texit meeting, 7 o'clock at the radio station. Maybe, I'll say this, I encourage everyone, get there. Get there. RSVP, so we make sure we have food for everybody. And it's kind of important. Food's expensive. Just figure, $30 a person minimum. And, if we have food for 100 people and only 50 people show up, that's a lot of money to throw away, and vice versa, right? So please RSVP. I know that you can go out to the website and we're trying to make it so easy. Just call down here. Tell us you're coming, 800-951-0592. I think it's going to be very much worth your while. There's going to be a ton of information. Bring all your hard questions. And I think they're going to share some things that will be pretty exciting. Arizona, our meeting is on the 15th. That is a Monday. Obviously, the radio station, Colorado, June 5th. That's this Friday, 7 o'clock. Arizona, Monday the 15th at 7 o'clock. Here's the good news. There will be a lot of information out during that Arizona meeting. Remember, the Arizona meeting, we're going to do it at Dave & Buster's at the Desert Ridge location right off the 101 in Tatum. It's going to be in what they call the Platinum Lounge. That is a private area upstairs. And again, need you all to please RSVP. If you want to bring your spouse, great. You want to bring a buddy, fine. You just want to go solo, whatever. 800-951-0592. Now that we have said all of that, let's get to some other things. By the way, I will be off. I guess I should say this too. The next 2 days. My wife and I are going to take a little break. It's our 27th wedding anniversary just occurred. I'll be back on Friday, and I will do the Texit update Friday. So normally I do it on Wednesday. That won't happen. It will be done this Friday. But again, get to the meeting, RSVP. If nothing else, you're going to get a free meal. That'll be the worst thing that happens is you get free food. But let's get to it. We got the JOLTS number today. I don't know. Now, what is JOLTS for you that don't remember? This is what they say are the job openings. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, job openings surged 731,000. I only make that because let me tell you right now, everyone I talk to in this town says the exact opposite. And I talk to a lot of people, right? I know a lot of business guys, and none of them are hiring. Not one. But 731,000, they're saying there's 7.618 million jobs available. By the way, that was a huge BS on expectation. They called it a 9 sigma beat. I don't know if I've seen, you don't see a 9 sigma beat very often. We'll see. I don't know, right? Are companies posting job ads on Indeed and all that stuff? Maybe. But the job openings increased in professional and business services. 668,000 of them. Kind of a weird number, right? A little rise in manufacturing and government had a rise. Those two weren't that big. Down in finance and insurance. So I'm not sure what the professional and business service exactly was, but that's what they're saying. So that was the number. And again, remember, they really, really, truly want a bad job numbers this week. That's what they want to see. So tomorrow, you'll get ADP. That is private sector jobs. The lower, the better, right? Just look at it that way. The lower, the better. Thursday, jobless claims. The higher, the better. And then, of course, Friday, the government jobs number. And again, same thing as tomorrow. The lower the number, the better, right? Why? Because everybody says they won't lower rates as long as the job market is still good. So today, not a number they wanted to see. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Let's take a look at the markets here. The Dow up 100 points. The Nasdaq's up 17. I'm sorry, the S&P's up 17. The Nasdaq's up 69 again. NVIDIA again, new all-time record highs. NVIDIA saying that, hey, I don't know, we just may start making the lesser chips as well. I don't know, but I would think maybe bad news for Intel. We'll see, but that was the big announcement yesterday out of NVIDIA. Hey, yeah, I know we make all the really high-end chips, but we may start making the other ones. The 10-year note down a little bit here, 445. Oil, flat. Nobody knows what the real truth is. I got a pretty good idea. Gold's up 45.05, up 20. Silver's up $1, 75.75. I'll see if we've got any of those $half rules still left. Let me check with the girls. If we do, I'll put them on the air. You know what? It'd be even a better deal today, right? I mean, we're already way below melt on those. I'll see if we have a few left. But what is it? So we got the JOLTS number, kind of a head scratcher, but okay. Is there something happening? So yesterday, word came out, Donald Trump, blasted Benjamin Netanyahu for, continuing to bomb in Lebanon, and Israel just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper into Lebanon, and was using some colorful language, and of course, who knows if that's true or not, right? Because they leaked it out to the media, so none of us really know. Allegedly, there is going to be a ceasefire in Lebanon. So far, that hasn't happened. Here's what they're saying. It appears to largely be holding. Well, a ceasefire means both sides have stopped firing, right? So that didn't happen. Both sides are still engaging. I guess maybe Israel's just bombing less. I don't know. But the president sticking to the, hey, I still hope there's going to be a deal this week. Word is right now that Iran has stopped communicating with the United States. The hope is if they stop the bombing in Libya, I guess Iran will come back. I don't know. The odds of an agreement. Now, I want people to understand what it is they're trying to agree to. This is not an agreement to end the war. This is an agreement to extend the ceasefire. And I think potentially allowing some ships to go through the strait. Right now, I guess you can bet on this stuff. 13% chance of a deal happening by Sunday. So by Monday morning, my guess is we are still going to be in the same situation, Jason, and everybody's trying to pick a date when this is going to be. When is this finally going to be the real problem, right? Obviously, okay, $90, $100 oil, not great. We're paying $4 and something cents at the pump. Nobody loves that. But where is the crisis, right? Are we actually really, truly going to see $120, $130, $150 oil? And if so, when? Well, Mark Zandi, by the way, he's kind of an important guy in this regards. He is he's an economist at Moody's. So, obviously, okay, that's kind of important. He is the head guy at Moody's. Okay, and of course, now Moody's, right, they're a credit agency. They're the ones that tell you how risky debt is, right? How risky is U.S. debt? How risky is, Apple debt, General Motors debt, Ford debt, REITs, right? All of those things. They rate all of these things. According to Zandi, the president has about a week to secure a peace deal before the effects of the war make it likely that the economy is going to fall into recession. This was yesterday, by the way. He said Iran has said they will cease negotiations on the strait. That's bad news for Trump. And he's saying that by the end of next week, there will be a more meaningful surge in oil prices if an agreement is not reached. I don't know, Jason. Is there going to be? I feel like we get somebody saying this weekly, right? No. I mean, I don't know.
There won't be an agreement. Nope. No, I don't.
Will oil prices start going higher, I guess?
Oh, well, when will oil prices? I think they have to drink it up. I think it's taken all this entire time. I think it's taken this long to dry up supply. This whole thing is about false scarcity. How do you take something that was in abundance and turn it scarce? Yeah, especially ships that drive, 15 miles an hour in the ocean or whatever it is, right? Or 20 miles an hour. It takes a while. And, Joe, they're going to readjust supply lines, right? They're going to try to the world's going to figure out how to make it efficient. But what they have to do is there has to be more used than they're pulling. So we have all these miraculous oil rig fires and pipelines blowing up, and you have the Strait of Hormuz closed, and you got war in the Middle East. That'll get us to a nice, healthy shortage, which will drive. I'm going to keep going. This is a broken record. They want an inflative cycle. The moneyed elite want an inflative cycle for their new monetary system. Everything that they're doing is about inflating. The leverage ratio rule that they're going to be enacting later, that's inflative. The possible buying of Bitcoin and revaluing the gold reserves is going to be inflative, all of it. And so you can't inflate, right? How do you, if the money elite just magically disappeared, we would have the world's largest and most painful depression. But it would be short-lived because markets would actually be able to adjust to the normal situations, like what's actually happening. We have an artificial market that's artificially manipulated, and to do this, you have to do things like attack Venezuela, attack other oil nations. You have to bring people into your monetary system and move assets around. And when you have the ebb and flow of the markets, right, Joe? Hey, we need to do some inflation. The debt to GDP is just not working out, and we've gotten out of this before. We're going to attempt to do it again. Now we're not doing nation building right now. There's no Germany and Japan to rebuild this time around. That's how they did it last time. They got to come up with a new way, AI or cryptocurrencies or something to where they can feed some of this, right? But the oil prices, Joe, it's unbelievable that the Strait of Hormuz, which was always war gamed as being a catastrophe for the planet, they have to close it down, and they actually have to blockade the Strait of Hormuz blockade to make sure they can get their inflation.
We need a blockade for the blockade.
Notice that to
make sure we blocked it.
Notice the news doesn't want to talk about the blockade anymore. It's still Hormuz, right? They don't want to see that. Well, actually, Iran's letting a few ships go through to make this work. No. American Israel has decided to blockade the whole Gulf. So there you go. So oil prices going up, Joe. They got to drink it up. Imagine having a gallon pitcher of water saying, okay, as soon as you drink all of this, you can get whatever it is you want to do today. I mean, who can chug a gallon of water? It's going to take a while to get that whole gallon of water down your throat so you can get your prize, right? And that's what's happening. It takes a while to get that gallon of water down. So when will we get it? Joe, it seems to me there's a lot of attention being put around the July 4th thing. The 250th anniversary, and so maybe we'll see. But I don't. We'll see. It's starting to look more and more like an ugly war is coming. That's what it's starting to look like.
It's not. Yeah, right. Someone was asking about the Texas coin deposits. That's tomorrow. We should. And again, they haven't updated anything on that. They're doing a bunch of major upgrades to the system. And everybody's deposits will come rolling in. Just be patient there. One guy asked if I was still, I assume it's that I'm still pushing the crap. Yeah, guys, listen, take a shot. That's what we keep talking about. This is where everything is going. I don't know. Will it work? We'll see. I will say this, Orm continues to work extremely well. Bitcoin getting smoked. Yeah, so interesting. Is Bitcoin now something that we need to pay attention to? As far as, is Bitcoin sending a message? I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe, right? Will this be an indicator that Wall Street is going to tumble because Bitcoin, and I don't know how, it's been a tough year for Bitcoin in general. It's back in the 60s, high 60,000, so it's, getting closer to the lows. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. And that may be at some point one of those things we look at, right? I don't know yet. Bitcoin hasn't been around long enough to make that determination yet. Let's see. Let's see what happens. The issue that I have with it is, Bitcoin got to 120. It's at 69, and Wall Street's at all-time highs. So I don't know if Bitcoin falling here, and most of the damage has been done in the last week or so. Is that going to be indicative of a correction on Wall Street? Too early to tell, but if I'm guessing, I don't think so. I don't know that that indicates anything.
Well, Michael Saylor's selling, King Bitcoin is selling, so that's usually not going to be the best indication of a Bitcoin price going up. You got the government. The government hasn't done this yet, but there is a plan in place to create a strategic reserve, which would be a 5-year buy of Bitcoin, and you better believe the government would really not want to buy it at a higher price, right, Joe? If they were going to enter into this, maybe we'll say later this year, do they really want 95,000 Bitcoin? They probably would like 60,000 or 50,000 Bitcoin if they're going to slowly accumulate 200 billion or 200 million Bitcoin a year for 5 years. Because that's the plan, 5 years, 200 million per year, so that they can own a little less than 5% of all Bitcoin.
We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. The yen in trouble again. Remember, you're only supposed to be allowed to intervene 3 times in your currency in a 90-day period before you get downgraded, as your currency no longer is a free-floating currency. Right now, the Japanese yen, 159.90. Again, they've been trying to hold this 160. They've been warned about the currency no longer can maybe, and it's a maybe. It's at their discretion. It's kind of weird, right? Either it's a rule or it's not. My guess is not. They will ignore it. The yen carry trade itself, this is going to be what they're trying to do is a very slow, gradual unwind of this trade. It's not going to work. Sooner or later, I think the yen is going to have a meltdown. When? I don't know. Listen, they can do this for a while. And Jason and I, we're caught here. We're telling you, hey, we still think prices are going to keep going higher. More and more money being printed. Now, could something happen that throws that into question? Well, I guess if what Mark Zandi is saying is accurate, then maybe. Because he's saying that without a deal this week, we're going to see gas over $5. Right now, the national average $4.32. Gas over $5. Crude oil over $125 a barrel. And that the United States would enter into a recession because the Federal Reserve would then be forced to have to not only not cut rates, but potentially have to raise rates as the inflation gets even worse. I don't know. Right, Jason? We talked about it, right? How low does it go? Now, the thing that Zandi is citing is our own inventories. So right now, in the last several weeks of oil reporting, we're losing roughly 10 million barrels plus a week in inventories. Just down, 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 on top of 8 to 10 million barrels a week out of the strategic reserve, which is now approaching the Biden level lows. And the big problem is going to be in the fuels, mostly jet fuel. Yesterday, Russia announced that due to attacks by Ukraine, that they are going to stop exports of all jet fuel. So Russia's saying that they're not going to be exporting jet fuel, at least for the immediate future. And Jason, again, right? How do you make the shortage worse? Keep taking supply off the market, and essentially, what does that mean? That means all these other countries need to get jet fuel from somewhere else. And right now, the only place to get it is from countries that have had an excess of it. And those countries now, us kind of being the last one standing, along with China, pretty much us and China have all the extra. And everybody is speculating. I think this is why we're hearing 4th of July a lot. I think Zandy's a little early, but we can't do this, week after week after week without there being, an effect on the price. Sooner or later, you would think the price would react.
Yeah, I mean, we could apply Venezuela to what you just said for the false scarcity. First, the very basic thing is just like, look, I'm selling whatever widgets, and everyone's buying widgets, and they're $1 each. Now let's just say my back room is getting filled up full of widgets, and my cost to hold all these widgets is getting to be more and more. All you have to do is if you have the ability to put the word out that widgets are becoming very scarce, and then you blow up the widget manufacturing plant. Now you can make a whole lot of money, because the widget, everyone's going to be, wait a minute, the widget manufacturing plant blew up. They don't know that you have a glut of widgets. They have no idea that your widget warehouse is full, and the manufacturer is putting too many out there, and there's going to be a crash in the widget price. So you blow up the widget manufacturing plant, and everyone's like, oh, no, where are we going to get them? Well, there's plenty. But here's what you get to do. You get to increase the price of the widgets. Now it's $2 a widget, and everyone's freaking out, and they're buying tons of them. So Venezuela, how does Venezuela fit into that? Venezuela was sanctioned for over 2 decades. An attempted coup happened in 2002 when Chavez got in there because they were going to nationalize oil and take a large supply of the oil out of the hands of those that wanted to control world oil. And as Venezuela stayed in their position and were sanctioned by president after president after president, they held their position. It was frustrating because the war against Iraq and Afghanistan was a costly one. Those nations had to be thwarted. It was a more important part. There's political reasons why that part of the world had to be dealt with more urgently. Now, Venezuela is this thing. It just won't. It's this hard thing. You can't figure out, how are we going to get this done? Well, if you look at what happened recently, it shows us how this happened. Joe Biden started buying the oil during his term. America doesn't need to buy Venezuelan oil unless they want to stop it from creating more widgets on the market, so to speak. The Trump agenda, when Trump got elected, they came in. They're like, look, we can't do this. There's got to be a better way. And miraculously, what did they do? Before the whole Venezuela thing, Trump met with all the oil executives. If you look at the Trump meetings, there's always something that happens very quickly after. When Joe goes on the air and says, hey, there's a Trump meeting, or you hear it on the news, get ready because things are happening. He met with the oil executives. I know what he guaranteed them. We are going to make world oil supply, the widgets, go away. You get in there and get this taken care of down here. We're done messing with Venezuela. And that's how they bought Maduro out of there. Maduro didn't get taken in a fantastic mission. He made a deal. It's clear as day to me, but it's hidden in your television.
800-951-0592. So my wife just handed me a little slip of paper here. I didn't know this. We have some $50 rolls in the safe. But so we have 20, we still have 20 rolls that we can do. These are pre-1965 silver $50 rolls. We're running them at $495. Now, what does that mean? Well, that just means that there's 7.15 ounces of silver in there. That means the silver you're buying, an ounce of silver, if you buy one of these rolls, you are paying $69.23. Right now, silver $75.80. So you are paying $6.57 below the price for an ounce of silver. So we're getting close. Now it's 75.82. We've been almost. Now yesterday we were almost $6 under. Now we're approaching $7 under. There's 20 rolls left, and they're only $495. 800-951-0592. Something else to look at. So you remember, right? Zandy talking about possible recession, obviously focusing on oil. We know wheat prices, which obviously wheat and soybeans kind of makes this part of the world go round. In the other half of the world, it's rice. Right? Rice and wheat. Take rice, wheat, soybean. That kind of feeds the world. Rice yesterday surged 20%. Well, 20% in the month of May. The largest increase in the price of rice going back to 2008. And they're saying that weather is now becoming a major obstacle on top of, right, the issues with fertilizers and obviously diesel prices and all of these other things. It just looks like, Jason, the whole world needs to expect rising food costs, right, for the rest of this year, right? It almost seems now inevitable that is going to happen.
Rice is it's like wheat and corn, and those are very, very indicative of world food prices. So that's a food store. That's a major one. I was just looking at copper. So
copper, geez, wow.
So I'm checking one. I don't know what the exact price. I don't know who you're looking for the price, but I'm looking at the same one I looked at yesterday. So yesterday it was $6.50, up 16 cents. So I get $6.66 today for copper. So it's got that ugly number.
That's probably a spot contract. The July copper contract, $6.69, up another 2%. That is, I think, an all-time.
It looks like record highs.
High.
Yeah,
it's an all-time record high copper price today. And again, unfortunately, I think we're going to see a 10 on copper. A 10
back in early March. It had a kind of a nice steady high of about $5.87. It went all the way down to about $5.27. So that was March 20th. So $5.27 March 20th. It was the week before. It was quite a bit higher, but it's been steadily going up since March 20th. It's not stopped. So I wonder if the Hormuz thing is hurting copper more than it's hurting oil right now, Joe. Because it sure seems like, it sure seems, you would think sometimes with some of these shutdowns that, less things would have to travel through there, and it would create some sort of a backup. But in copper and what you're saying with rice, it sure seems like there's the prices are being pushed a lot harder, Joe.
Well, yeah, this is the longer this goes on, and I think, part of what Zandy was saying, right, the longer this goes on, it starts affecting everything, right? Why is copper being affected? Because, when you think about the Middle East, nobody's thinking about, oh my gosh, they supply a ton of the world's copper supply. Yeah. But the problem is there's always something. Hey, they don't supply the copper, but they supply this particular chemical or this particular product that without it, the copper industry can't run at peak efficiency, right? There's all of a sudden, everything kind of slows down a little bit. We have the same thing. We talk about helium, right? With chip prices, right? You got to have it. And the fact of the matter is, Jason, I just think we're seeing all of this wind up. I saw the other day, everyone's talking about the retailers. How much longer can they go with the high fuel prices?
Yep.
Before they've got to start raising the price on the shelves, because let's face it, in retail, everything gets there by fuel, right? It goes on a ship, fuel. It gets put on a truck, fuel. It gets stored in the warehouse, fuel. Then it gets sent out to the stores, fuel. Yeah, it's building, isn't it? We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Again, rolls of silver, $50. Wow. I will say this. I don't think I ever in my wildlife, if you would have told me 24, whatever it was, 23 years ago, hey, Joe, do you know you're going to sell silver $50? Pretty much $7 below
spot, yeah.
Below spot. I'd be like, pfft.
The markets are doing weird things, Joe. I mean, weird things. That doesn't
make any sense. Weird thing.
I'm looking at the copper thing, Joe, a little closer. As I said, March 20th, it had that lower price of $5.27, so it's up 21%. Yeah. Up 21% in 2.5 months. On May 22nd, it was $6.36. Went down the next day all the way down to $5.50. One day, there was a huge copper sell-off. And then guess what happened? Very next day, price went right back to $6.39. I think whatever pressure they've been trying to do to keep the copper price low is not working. We might be, and copper's a good indication of a lot of things, just like oil is, Joe. So maybe it's happening. Maybe they finally are getting all that oil they want as rare as they can make it, so that we can move into our inflation, Joe. Happy days. All right, happy days for everyone. Man. Buying a roll of silver $50 at $7 below spot. This will not stay for a long, long time. You guys are lucky to be in this 1 year period where the smelters can't keep up with all the melting. But when they catch up, they're going to melt all that sterling. They're going to melt all that 90%, and you're not going to be offered junk silver at $7 below spot, Joe. It's just not going to happen.
It's just incredible. What a huge opportunity that is presenting itself, and like Jason said, it's weird. It's bizarre. It's honestly, I don't even have an answer for it. I wish that I did. It's hard to explain or understand what the markets are thinking and doing at any given moment. We have bubbles in all kinds of markets. By the way, Alphabet. So here's a company I'm thinking they got to be making $1 gazillion, right? Because every time Alphabet comes out, they keep talking about, oh yeah, we're investing $10 billion, $20 billion, $40 billion, $80 billion in AI. I'm like, oh my God, how much money these guys got? Well, come to find out, not that much. Apparently, Alphabet gave Berkshire Hathaway a big discount for them buying $10 billion of Alphabet stock. And now they've announced that we need to sell $40 billion more in Alphabet stock because they're saying that spending now has exhausted their free cash flow, and they now have negative free cash flow. So apparently Google's getting ready, Jason, to raise a bunch of money. So apparently all these companies actually don't have $1 gazillion. I thought they did.
They have $1 gazillion in debt.
Yeah, right. Well,
they're leveraged. They know how to play the game. So not everyone's a Warren Buffett, right, Joe?
Yeah.
There's the other way to play it.
I want my deeply discounted. 800-951-0592.